I'm thankful that you are listening today, and this is episode 27. Whoa, I'm so excited that I have been able and God has enabled me to do so many podcasts already. And today I have a special announcement that I'm excited to share with you. But before we go to the subject of today, God's honor, I want to tell you about an event that's coming just in a couple of days. Arise Women's Conference, Arise 2024, Awaken the Warrior Conference. This is going to be such an amazing conference, and I'm personally expecting to encounter God in a new way. And I'm hoping all the ladies who come there are also expecting to get an impartation, expecting to get new fire from God. And you can still register, you can still come, it's not too late. So go to the event page, Arise 2024 Awaken the Warrior Conference. It's April 12 to 14 at Revive Church in Kansas City. And if you are not in this area, you can watch it online also. And that can be also powerful. If you are in Finland, you can watch it from there. So come, I would love to meet you there. It will be an amazing conference with God's presence on it. And so let's talk about God's honor. So, like I said, we hear messages about living for God's honor. But if you're like me, sometimes when you're going through the Christian things in life, you ask yourselves, why am I doing this? Why am I reading my Bible? Why am I going to church? Why am I believing for this miracle? Why am I trying to live this Christian life with faith and love for God? You just want to know why. And if you don't ever ask the questions, why am I doing this? You are easily taken out of the race. If your decision to follow and live for God's honor is not strong enough and is not firm enough, because we have adverse Satan who opposes us and doesn't want us to live for God. So why do I need to live for God's honor? Why do I need to show a life that brings honor to His name? So some people say to us that we are created to worship God. We are created to honor Him, and that's exactly right, and I agree. But sometimes I ask myself, why? Why am I created to worship God? Aren't there enough angels in heaven to worship God? There are thousands and millions of people there worship God. Why is my worship so important? Why is my honoring God so important? So when I was a young girl, my parents wanted me to know this why, so that I would be strong in faith. And they started to tell me about this story of what happened in heaven before the creation of man. That we humans are not the center of this universe, but actually it's God and His reputation and His things and His kingdom is the center of this universe, and we are there to build His kingdom, not our own reputation and our own agendas. So they were telling me the story of what happened in heaven before the creation of man, and that really gave me the fire and the strength and the backbone to stand in very difficult situations. And let's say when my fire is going out and I feel it, that the attacks are trying to quench my fire, then I remind myself, why was I created? Why am I here? Why am I trying to keep my holy fire up? Why am I trying to do? And if you can go and remind yourself of the reason why you are here, why were Adam and Eve created, then you can set yourself in a holy fire anywhere, in any time, because you know why. And so this is so important for long-term fire and long-term race, to keep your flame burning and enduring whatever comes to your life. So, and especially to the younger generation living right now, what I'm trying to teach my teenagers, my children, is that you need to know the why, so that you are not taken out of your race so easily, that you can endure anything. If you know why. And this generation is really looking for a cause to fight. The younger generation is looking for a cause to fight. And we Christians need to give our children a cause to fight. Because there are so many temptation and so many causes given to, weird causes given to our children. And really trying to take them to a wrong route. So we need to give them a cause. And it cannot be a cause that was invented by some preacher or 100 years old, 200 years old. We need to go back to the reason why humans were created. That's the only thing that can fight the spirit of this age and give our younger generation fire that lasts, fire of love towards God. And you cannot even understand the life of a new creation if you don't understand the life of a creation. The first creation, why was Adam and Eve created? Why that needed to be restored by Jesus? So you need to understand the whole reason why humans are here, why we are here. And so, let me tell you the story of what happened in heaven before humans were created. And we people want to be the center of the story, but I'm sorry, we are not the center of this story. This is God's story, not the story about humanity, but about God. So before humans were created, there was God, of course, he has always been, and he created himself a system, and he created beings, angels, that live around him and in his presence all the time. And he gave these angels free will. They could serve him and not serve him. And it was a risk to create these kind of beings. But he wanted it because without free will there cannot be genuine love. And God wanted there to be genuine, he could show genuine love towards the angels and they could love him back. So he created beings, angels. And he created a system, heavenly system. And then there was one angel, Lucifer, higher angel, who led the worship and led the angels. However, he did it, and he rebelled against God, which was also always the possibility if you have a free will. So he rebelled against God and got 1/3 of the angels against God. 2/3 of the angels were standing for our Creator God. But there was a debate about who is the rightful ruler for this universe. And it could not be proven without some witness who was not partial to either party. Although God had the majority of angels for him, still the accusations were hanging in the air without there being a witness who was not in the presence of God before him, who did not see God all the time, who could not be manipulated by either party, either Satan, Lucifer, who later became Satan, or God, to worship and serve them. So God created the human race. Maybe it was his plan long time before that, but he created us humans to be witnesses, to bring back his honor for all eternity and show who is the rightful ruler for this universe. And the accusations were strong. And I will tell you one accusation that you need to be speaking against in your life as a Christian. So there was this accusation that God is forcing angels to serve him. So it could not be proven wrong unless there was an environment where that forcing could not happen. And so there needed to be created a new race of humans. And so we are the voice that says that God is the rightful ruler and he has never forced us to do anything. This is a powerful statement in the spirit realm that you can be declaring, and you are immediately stepping into God's territory, And if you are restoring his honor by confronting this accusation that God forces created beings to serve him, then you are, if you are confronting this and saying, no, that's not right. I have never been forced. I'm doing this free willingly. Then you are stepping to restore God's honor. And then he will take care of you because your voice is such an important witness to the whole cause of his kingdom. So that there can be peace and there can be order in the heavenlies once again for all eternity. So let me read you what Ezekiel 36 and 22 says about God's name and its honor. Therefore, give the people of Israel this message from the sovereign Lord. I am bringing you back, but not because you deserve it. I am doing it to protect my holy name, on which you brought shame while you were scattered among the nations. I will show how holy my great name is, the name on which you brought shame among the nations. And when I reveal my holiness through you before their very eyes, says the sovereign Lord, then the nations will know that I am the Lord. So the whole battle is about the honor of God. And the whole existence, why humans are created, is to confront the accusations that Satan is still making against our God. And we know they are wrong. We know they know they are false, but they need to be confronted so that the eternity that's starting after this age will be without those accusations, and no one can ever rise again. Even though we have a free will, no one can ever rise again and say that God is not just. God is not the rightful ruler for this universe. So this revelation really affected my life greatly. It gave me focus and it gave me enduring fire. Because this message of God's honor, that we humans are not the center of the gospel, but God is the center of the gospel of the kingdom. This message always rises up when revival is sweeping through the earth. And this message of honor of God really supports the message of the kingdom that we are to be preaching to the whole earth before Jesus comes back. So it's not a humanistic message. It's the message about God and God's plan and how we are to be supporting it. And if we support God's plan, He will take care of us and bless us richly because we are in His plan. So that has just given me a great purpose, and to know why I am blessed. Why He takes such a good care of me. He takes such a good care of me because I'm a part of restoring His name on this earth. I'm part of restoring His honor. And that's my whole life's goal. And that's my whole life's plan. And so, although there are thousands and thousands of people who can testify that God has never forced them to serve Him, still, if my life is picked up as an example, like Job's life was taken in the Bible, in the book of Job, if my life is taken as an example, is God a good God? Is He worthy to be served? Is He the rightful ruler? Has He ever made you to worship Him, forced you? I can say no. I do this very willingly, and my whole life is a proof of that statement. So that we need many of these people standing before God and rising up that I can be a witness. I can be a witness. My life can be a witness. I have encountered God, and I have decided that He is the best thing that ever happened to me, and I'm giving my whole life to Him. And I can be a witness. If there's nobody else, I can testify from this generation. And God needs from every generation, every race, every nation, every age group, people who can testify that He is worth it, that He's worth our time and effort, to give Him our whole life unreservedly. So speaking this aloud and living a lifestyle of bringing God honor by your choices, by your words, by deciding to do His will shame the enemy. And if the enemy is shamed, God gets honor and God will bless you richly. That's how it works. So you can anyone can be in this battle. Anyone can be restoring God's honor. It's not for only one or two people. Anyone can do it. It just depends if you are loving God and wanting to restore His honor and understanding why you were created and how important your words and your actions are. And so next week, I will be speaking more about this, opening this subject more. What can we do to live for God's honor, and what the benefits are for living for God's honor? And I'm hoping to get my daughter Rebecca talking with me about this subject more. But now I'm excited to share to you an announcement that I have been waiting to share for a long time. So I have been working on a project for 11 years. I have had pauses for a couple of years, having a baby and just work and church things and things of life. But I have been having this constantly in my mind and really finishing it up this spring. So I have been working on a book project, and it will be released this April, just in a couple of weeks. It is a fantasy adventure novel for anyone, but especially geared towards the younger generation, young adults, to explain what happened in the heavenly realm before the creation of man. So A Clash of Book and Blade is a fantasy novel about the creation of angels and the battle of honor happening in the spirit realm, and how we humans are tied to that battle, and how we can be shaming the enemy and bringing honor to God with our actions and our words, and what this whole battle that's going on in the spirit realm means for our lives. It's just a fast-paced adventure novel, and I love to write it. I don't like to read boring books that don't move forward, so it's very fast-paced and it's very exciting and has a lot of action on it. And I'm so excited to tell you that soon you can read it in Amazon as an ebook or as a printed book, and just get it in English first. So later on this summer it will also be released as in Finnish in Finland. But right now it will be on Amazon in English, and you can just get a glimpse of the heavenly realm, just an entertaining story with a lot of truth, about a glimpse to the heavenly realm. If you have never heard about the story, you can get a glimpse there and really get that revelation that God poured to my life as I was writing this book. And we are just finalizing the cover and doing last edits and getting that book out, released very shortly this April, so in a couple of weeks. And I'm so excited about this, just for you to get to read this story and get the benefit of it to your life, and maybe share it to some younger generation, some young adults who don't know what their purpose in life is, and who may be struggling with even to coming to church, or worshiping God, or giving their life to God, or stepping into their new creation lifestyle. So this is a great book to give to them, just opens their heart to see that they have a purpose and they have a calling for their life that is greater than just the causes of what we humans bring to our life. So you can be looking and waiting for the announcement when you can get the ebook on Amazon. And I'm so excited for get to share this story with you and with everyone. And so next week, Rebecca, my daughter, will be here, I'm hoping, to talk with me more about this book, because she has been helping me to finish the book. And so I will see you next week.